Yeah.
It's George.
It's Elaine.
Come on up.
Hey, what are you listening to?
I never heard anything like this in my life. Listen to this.
This is exciting! This is exciting! Huh? Did I miss anything already?
Kramer, get in!
Where's the crazy man?
Hey! Sit down. Come on, it's about to start.
Welcome to Jerrycast, a retrospective on all one episode of Jerry, being hosted by two guys who can barely run their own lives. My name is Vinny.
My name's Matt. Welcome back. Did you miss us?
Let's just dive right in.
Okay. Well, when we last left our heroes, they were on the set of Jerry. Here we go. The second half of the season 4 finale pilot. As much as I love the first half of this episode, the second half is just...
Well, like you said earlier, a lot of payoffs, a lot of callbacks and references. Here's where all the payoffs happen.
Right, we're on one of the actual Seinfeld stages here. That's probably the most surreal aspect of this episode is how, they're kind of pulling the cameras back a bit, showing the full stage, the full set, the audience, the bleachers. In this scene, it's Jerry and TV Kramer, or I guess we should call him like TV Kramer, Tom Pepper, having an argument about whether or not Haagen-Dazs is Danish while the execs watch from the audience. And the whole room is pretty much filled with crew members just standing around watching them, and no one is laughing.
So I noticed Rita, the NBC executive, she's not enjoying herself at all, whereas Jay Crespi has quite a big smirk on his face. I think he's getting a kick out of it.
I know Glenn Padnick is not an NBC exec. He's with Castle Rock, but there's something about Jay that reminds me of Glenn Padnick from the interviews.
Fun-loving, just having a good time, making the scene.
Right.
His good time buddies. No, he I think he's one of the most positive personalities in the Seinfeld universe.
Mm-hmm. But even TV George here, Michael Barth, gets in on the conversation, and he's like, hey, Haagen-Dazs is made in New Jersey. It's just a Danish-sounding name.
This guy stinks.
I can't believe that. They fooled me, Jerry. Suddenly, George butts in and, hey, talks to the director. Can I talk to the actors for a second?
You know who that director is?
Yeah, it's Tom Sharonis.
Tommy C., actual Seinfeld director of this episode. He gets to play loosely himself.
Yeah, I think a more irritated version of himself, because he seems to be, also from his interviews, a pretty sweet guy.
Yeah.
You see, you're going, they fooled me, Jerry. You want to hit fooled more. They fooled me, Jerry. You see the difference?
I'm not going to say it like that.
Just a suggestion. All right, everybody. Take a 5. Yep, that's 5.
George?
I don't have a lot of experience with this acting stuff, but from what I can gather, they're a little touchy about being told how to say the lines.
Why is that?
I don't know, but they don't seem to like it. By the way, how am I doing?
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. So you think this guy playing Kramer took the raisins?
Why would he steal a box of raisins?
Yeah. It's bizarre.
That little bald guy's driving me nuts. I'm gonna rip him a new one if he doesn't leave me alone.
I actually like George's note to Tom. I think that's a good note.
It feels very Larry David, right?
Yeah. I do think he should hit fooled more. The one thing I do notice about Tom Pepper's Kramer versus Kramer's Kramer, Tom seems to kind of lack a little bit of energy because he seems a little bit older than Larry Hankin seems a little bit older than Michael Richards. So it's more of a like a toned down kind of Kramer.
Yeah, a little sedated, you know?
Too many raisins.
You know what I love about this scene, too, is how they angle the cameras. And Larry Hankin just towers over George. He's this little guy. You just see his head pretty much just peeking over his shoulders. But, of course, we heard Jerry and George go on about the raisins. George is not letting this go, which is to be expected. So the director, I guess, in the universe, is this Tom Sharonis, like his evil version? But
correct. The Bizarro Tom.
The Bizarro Tom, yeah. He's complaining to the execs about, this bald guy driving him nuts. He's going to rip him a new one if he doesn't leave him alone.
Go Tom.
Yeah. Now, what's kind of cool is the setting here is Rita, Jay, Stu, and Russell all lined up in the bleachers. But sitting behind them, you have 3 other executives. We've never seen them before, but those are real-life executives, right?
We have NBC executives Todd Schwartz, Warren Littlefield, and Rick Ludwin. Warren Littlefield, was he the president at one point?
Yeah, at the time that NBC produced Seinfeld.
And he's the redheaded gentleman with the goatee who would do a lot of interviews on the DVDs. And then Rick Ludwin is the executive who is renowned for championing Seinfeld and ordering the 4 episodes after the original pilot, which is kind of what kickstarted Seinfeld, got it going.
Right. I'm not that familiar with Todd Schwartz.
Nor am I.
We could maybe do a little more research on that one.
Frankly, it sounds made up.
Well, Rita thinks the real problem here is Seinfeld, not George. Jerry can't act. It's pathetic. Cringe is watching him.
Again, Jerry and the crew are able to make fun of themselves. I mean, it's all really at Jerry's expense for this joke, but again, nice that the namesake of the show is getting made fun of. You mentioned Rita, who returns. The actress Ann Toomey plays Rita. She was previously in was it The Virgin?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm sorry. Yeah, she was in The Virgin and The Pilot. But I didn't realize this. Tom Sharona shared on the DVD commentary. She and her husband both auditioned for the same role of this executive, the kind of the rival executive of Russell. And she won out over her husband. But I thought that was really interesting that a husband and wife went in for the same role.
Right. So at the end of this, group of execs, Russell is just totally out of it. It's all static, and he can't even hear Rita when she calls his name, and all he does is excuse himself. So he's definitely got a few loose wires, it seems. So elsewhere, Jerry and Sandy are reading over their scripts when she breaks the silence. I feel like this scene shows up in a lot of clip shows. She wants to know if Jerry's breaking up with her. What's his line? Are we going out?
Are we going out? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to break up with you? She's just sort of so deep into the Elaine character here that she can't comprehend, I guess, what's real and what's on the show.
Well, I'd like to argue that she's kind of a method actress, a method sitcom actress, and she's delving into this Elaine character, and she wants to experience everything Elaine has experienced, but in the course of one conversation.
That actually makes a lot more sense.
She wants to experience that breakup with Jerry and then become friends.
Mm-hmm.
What a nut.
I like the back and forth, though, and when Jerry drops I don't even know what you're talking about.
And again, he's got that loose, kind of casual flow or tone to his voice. He's taking it all as a joke. If you guys look closely during this scene between Sandy and Jerry, in the background, you see 2 figures in the bleachers reading newspapers. One gentleman has a Yankees cap on. That is writer Peter Millman. A lot of crew members, writers, producers, everybody was kind of injected into the show to play, some sort of crew member. So you'll see them littered throughout the episode.
Mm-hmm. And on the other side of the stage, George is talking to Tom Pepper again, and hey, we have another clip for you.
Do you remember when you came in to audition for us?
Yeah.
There was a box of raisins on the coffee table. Did you, by any chance, take them with you when you left?
What are you talking about?
Well, we were all eating the raisins, and I remember you were eating some of the raisins, and then you left, and the raisins were gone. And I was just wondering if, maybe you took them with you.
Are you accusing me of stealing the raisins?
Oh, no.
Now, why would I steal a box of raisins?
No, you wouldn't. Nobody would, It's just that they were missing, and, well, I'm just inquiring.
Let me give you a word of advice, okay? I want you to stay away from me. I don't want to talk to you. And I don't want to hear any more of your stupid little notes and suggestions. I don't like you. So if you got any other problems, whether it's raisins, prunes, figs, or any other dried fruit, just keep it to yourself and stay out of my way, okay?
All right. I don't think we're going to have any problem with that. Good talking to you, Tom. Really.
The compulsion to have to confront somebody. Why, George?
Well, this is the This is the Curb Your Enthusiasm Larry David, where you just can't let something go. You have to say something. And
speaking of this raisin confrontation, it originally was supposed to take place between George and TV George, Michael Barth.
I think they made the better call with these. Like, Sandy's the method actor, as you mentioned it. Michael Barth is panicky, and Tom Pepper is just, like, terrifying.
Yeah. There's a shot where, I think it's when they're getting ready for showtime, and George is wearing, like, a suit jacket. And he like points over at Tom, and Tom's just staring there, dead face.
Yeah, it's coming up.
I gotta say though, George is pretty kind of charming in the way he delicately tiptoes around this issue. Mm-hmm. He's very friendly, even though just Tom hates him.
So Russell's on the phone with Elaine, desperately asking what she wants. This is honestly, I think, where Bob Balaban shines this episode. He's just so concerned, very neurotic. He can't go on. Is it his job? Will she call him later? Can he call her? He's pretty much breaking down as she hangs up on him. And this this like stagehand walks by.
Excuse me, Mr. Dalrymple. I'm so sorry.
All right, what's your name?
Dave Richardson.
Get out, you're fired.
That always cracks me up.
Just how quick he is to fire the guy.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be playing a lot of clips this week, so I just want to honor Bob Balaban a little bit and play this explosive moment.
Didn't you hear what I said? Get out. You want me to call the cops? I make and break little worms like you every day. Do you know how much money I make? Do you have any idea? Do you know where I live? I could have any woman in this city that I want. Anyone. Now get out! What are you all looking at? Go back to work. Back! Now!
Back!
That actor, or the character David Richardson, is played by actor Stephen Burrows, who was in The Color of Money, The Untouchables, My Father the Hero. And David Richardson is actually the name of one of the grips on the show. And I believe David Richardson, the person, was also in The Barber. And he played the body of JFK Jr. in The Contest.
I wonder if he played JFK in this episode, too.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Probably. I don't see why not, continuity-wise.
What the hell?
So we get a little act break of sorts. We come back. We're at Jerry's apartment. And George is still freaking out about the white spot from the biopsy. Turns out the lab is all backed up, and he won't be getting the results for another 2 days. And Jerry's freaking out, too, because he knows he can't act. He's going to make a fool of himself. So they start competing about who's worse off. George adds, I was a total failure before this. Everything was fine. This thing's going to be a success. God's going to give me a terminal disease. Before we move on, are you reminded of the blooper?
He's like, you're not the one who's dying. Because I can't act.
You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. I'm the one who's dying.
What do you mean?
Because I can't act. I don't know what the hell. Because I...
I wanted to talk about how they're both clearly upset and worried about their respective problems with, being on national television and dying. But when George says, the guy playing Kramer threatened me, Jerry kind of settles back into his familiar, just inquisitive. You asked him about the raisins, and they kind of resort to traditional Seinfeld. And
did he take them?
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny how they just kind of ease out of being stressed out into just delving into human subject matter.
See, part of me feels that Jerry is kind of making fun of George here as they go back and forth. He says, well, if he didn't take them, what happened to him?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
So Kramer enters even slower than before. He's kind of inching in. Feel kind of bad for the guy. Like, he's obviously in some discomfort here.
Yeah.
He's still backed up. He's got no peristalsis. He tried bran, 40%, 50%, 100%. The bran isn't working for him.
What about Metamute?
Did it?
Excellent.
Yeah, I had it.
Milk of magnesia?
Yeah. Are you familiar with Metamucil?
Metamucil, yeah.
That's a laxative?
Yeah, they make the wafers. It's a fiber.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. X, I assume, is X-Lax. Mm-hmm. And then, is it milk of manganese?
Milk of magnesia.
Let's start that again.
Manganese is actually one of the elements Jerry says on his special. That's probably where he got that from.
I've never heard of that. Milk of, what was it?
Smoke of magnesia?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. It's like Mylanta.
Mylanta.
Oh.
So it may be time to try the dreaded apparatus. And Kramer, of course, won't do any inserting into that area. You know, isn't he the ass man?
Oh. Very, very good.
No. We don't get a lot of butt humor, I guess, on
It's a sophisticated show we're watching.
Yeah, well, I'd say the enema. It is funny how both the enema and the proctologist sort of revolve around Kramer.
There's one butt joke, sexual, where
that's right.
James, the wake up call guy, we slept head to toe. No, I had my back to him. Eye roll.
Yes, I never got that joke. I had no idea what they were talking about for years, and I'm like, wow, they went there.
Sweet kid.
So Elaine enters, and the restaurant investigation is underway. She's not going to the taping tomorrow, though, because she doesn't want to run into Russell, since, as we all know, he has a complete fixation on her.
So you mentioned the investigation's underway. This is the large-breasted women at Monk's. At one point in the script, George was going to respond to Elaine and say, "You think your little raid is going to stop us? You can't stop us. Wherever they are, we'll find them on the streets, in the movies, office buildings, magazines. We know they're out there, and we'll be watching." I guess alluding to that you can't stop us from finding these bosomy women.
I guess.
Is that correct? And then Elaine is going to respond, "So, George, tell me about that Chinese man on the bus, because, I spoke to Dana Foley, and I'm just a little fuzzy on a couple of details." And George immediately withdraws his protest. So something's up that Elaine spoke to Dana Foley, George's therapist, and she got some dirt on George and his therapy sessions, and she was gonna use that against him. But this whole exchange was cut out, so we don't know. But that was kind of an interesting little snippet.
Hearing you describe it, I feel like I definitely need to hear it come from the actors to kind of get it.
You don't like my delivery?
No, I'm sorry. It was a fine delivery. I want to see how George reacts to that. That's where I feel like most of the humor would come from. Mm-hmm. Hearing about she knows about his therapy sessions, because I don't know, the Chinese man on the bus, it just isn't, there's no context there. So I want to know more.
Well, because Elaine had a dream about a sexual encounter with a Chinese woman.
There you go.
So it's all,
and Jerry dated a Chinese woman from Long Island.
Yes. But that line, "You think your little raid is going to stop us?" That's always been in the blooper for this season.
You're
and
right.
Every time George said that, and then Elaine and him kind of start laughing and kind of grabbing each other because they're having, a fun time.
It was always confusing because you're like, what scene is this?
Where is that? But now we know that's from a cut piece of dialogue.
I thought the quote sounded familiar because "you can't stop us," that is key in the blooper, because that's when they crack. Good call. Well, so Elaine isn't going to the taping. Kramer isn't going either. He wants to stay close to his home base in case there's any news from the front. And then we move to NBC. Here we go. The set of Jerry as the audience is piling in. We also get shots of a lot of crew members here. And I figured, Vinny, we could maybe go over a few of the crew members here. We get like kind of individual shots of
Absolutely.
them, working on either their
respective jobs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So who do you got?
So Jerry's in the makeup chair. He's getting his makeup done by actual Seinfeld makeup woman, Shirley Beck. That name you always see at the end credits, Pete Papanicolaou, as well as the horse, Papanick.
Yep.
10-1, whatever. Pete Papanicolaou is the key grip, and he's the one moving the blinds up and down. The first boom operator you see, woman, is Elza Faye Camacho.
Kind of a cool shot. She's like in the rafters.
Elevated. Mm-hmm. And then Pete Sanfilippo is the sound mixer. And these are all their actual jobs on the show. They just kind of pointed a camera at him and said, "Do what you do." And then the other boom operator is Dennis Kirkpatrick.
We kind of get a montage of a lot of people. It's opening night. And Michael is doing some mouth exercises, right, Vinny?
Michael Barth. About to get it.
I wish I could do that. I've struggled for over a decade now to try to get it right.
Give it a try in front of all these listeners.
Can you break it down for me?
Bada getta.
Okay, bada getta. Bada getta, bada getta, bada getta, bada getta, bada. That's as fast as I can go. It's hard. George is checking on his white spot, in the mirror, and
Tom Pepper.
What is it about Larry Hankin, man? He doesn't need to say anything, and he's hilarious.
I feel like that box of raisins got bigger for some reason.
Yeah, so Tom Pepper is just chilling on a couch, just staring into the distance blankly, eating from a box of raisins. Presumably the same box he stole from the casting session. Also, a woman in a blonde wig enters. Not sure who that is.
And black rimmed glasses.
Yeah, weird. It's Elaine. Anyways.
I want to know how she got that big mop of hair of hers under that little tiny wig.
Not only that, how the hell in, what is it, season, is it 7 or 8? It must be 8, the Bizarro Jerry.
Oh, when she cuts her hair short?
Or the Soulmate, I'm sorry. Yeah, when she cuts her hair short. When I first watched the show, I'm like, oh, wow, I guess the actress cut her hair. Was she wearing a wig or extensions in future scenes? Or
I thought they just kind of fashioned, this is stupid guy talking right now. I thought they just fashioned it so that it looked short.
She does a good job because she turns to the side, and it's pretty short.
It is short.
Love it when that happens. Love it when that happens.
Buy me a Coke. Okay, let's move on.
So we cut over to a pharmacy, and I figured we could just kind of condense all the Kramer scenes here.
Yeah.
The first one is Kramer just on a pharmacy wall, kind of like the one in I think it was The Stranded, right? Remember George and Jerry?
Yeah. Treating me to medicine.
Right. It's Kramer shopping for an enema.
So I really want to look at this more closely because he, again, with the physical comedy, knocking over a box, and he's really embarrassed. And then he looks kind of off camera, and it's as if he locks eyes with somebody else in the pharmacy, and he gives them just the slightest head nod. But it's so subtle, but damn, it's really brilliant.
Yeah, considering if you pull back, it's this tiny little wall. That's the entire set. And he can still create like this entire pharmacy atmosphere with that look.
I just like the subtlety of him being so embarrassed to purchase this product and then having to lock eyes with somebody and acknowledge them.
And of course, it the enema tube falls out of the box, and he has to put it back in. That was actually my first. Well, actually, I've never seen an enema device in real life, but that was the first time I ever saw one, and I'm like, that's it? It's a tube? What? Later on, we see him enter his apartment, and again, we're overanalyzing everything, but that's like the brilliance of Michael Richards. I love how he has the bag really tight under his arm.
Yeah.
Like he's just trying to, I don't know, like he's afraid it's going to fall out or anyone's going to see it.
And did you notice his door is all, and apartment are all lined with wood?
Yeah, he's got that wood paneling up, and it's one of the, I'd argue it's the only shot of his bathroom, really. Mm-hmm. We have the shower head and the Clarkman scenes, but I don't think you really get a shot of the proper bathroom.
Right.
So this is a first and only shot. Back to NBC, Jerry and Sandy are in makeup, and...
Pick it up more in the front. It has to be higher. Make a wall.
And she won't even respond to her name, Sandy, from one of the stagehands.
Try Elaine.
Elaine?
Yeah. That stagehand is Deborah Swisher. She was also in a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode.
Oh, so she's not a crew member. She's an actress.
Yes.
Okay, got it. I feel like before we move on, we should say how absurd it is that, again, they wrote the pilot, they cast it, they're filming it, and then it's going to air like the following Thursday.
Right.
All of this just seems so absurd, but for, the sake of a sitcom.
It tests.
Mm-hmm. Elaine, again, in the blonde wig, is trying to remain unnoticed in the audience when, of course, this guy right behind her recognizes her.
Elaine? It's me, Wilton Marshall. Remember? Camp Tioga, 1978.
Good trivia question.
Yes. Camp Tioga is actually referenced in Curb. Larry brings that up once, if not twice. So that has to be something from his past, I would imagine.
The only time I've heard Larry David, the actual Larry David, mention camp is when he met Richard Lewis at camp when they were kids, and they became good friends. So I wonder if they went to Camp Tioga together.
And there's something
possible. Just throwing it out there.
That actor is Jeff Ochton. He plays Wilton Marshall. That's his only acting credit.
Okay, so he must have. Was he? Do you think like a crew member or a friend of a friend?
On IMDb, all it is actor. There's no writer. There's no miscellaneous crew. Nothing. So interesting how he got that one line.
Yeah, that's a great one. Good name too, Wilton Marshall. I like that.
Sounds like a jazz player.
So Michael Barth starts flipping out, just like George. He can't remember his lines. You gotta help me, Jerry.
You're just like George. George did the same thing. You're just like him. It's amazing.
Well, we should really take a moment right here to say how incredible Jeremy Piven is as Michael Barth. It's, I didn't really know who Jeremy Piven was until I think Entourage, really. And then you look back on his career and you're like, oh my God, he's been around for so long.
Oh, yeah.
I think I first saw him in, you didn't mention this yesterday in your list of credits, but it's what is it? Dirty Little Things, or what's that movie with Daniel Stern and Christian Slater? It's killing me.
Ooh, let me see.
Yeah, you might have to look that one up. It's like this real dark comedy where these guys go on a bachelor party and kill the stripper accidentally, and they cover it up, and eventually just their lives start falling apart by covering up this lie. But even then, that was, I think, the late 90s. You always mentioned to me throughout college, because Entourage had just come out at that time, how Jeremy Piven got plugs. That was like a huge talking point whenever we watched this episode, because you're like, my God, look at that hairline. It can't be the same hair.
Well, people always say, plugs are bad or they don't look good. They make them now where you can't tell. But I think it's an amazing job.
If I watched Entourage, I never would have believed this is Jeremy Piven, only because his hair looks so good now.
Not only the hair, but Jeremy Piven has such a definitive voice. It's very deep and rich and bold. He's usually usually cast as a confident actor, like a very assertive kind of guy. Now he's playing George, but because he's got the sweatpants on, the glasses, the really receding hairline, you buy it,
Oh,
but
yeah.
If you had like the Ari Gold kind of look to Jeremy Piven and then have him come play George, I wouldn't buy it at all because he's just too handsome.
Man, I'm looking at his IMDb page. He's in so many movies, dude.
Sin City, Old School, everybody knows him from.
But I forgot, like he was in Heat back in like 95.
Scary Movie 3. Twilight Zone, we talked about.
Very Bad Things. That was the movie from 98. Real dark comedy, especially when you're just a kid watching it. You're like, oh my God, how can like something so unsettling be funny at the same time? But yeah, again, Jeremy Piven, just incredible. I think one of the best guest stars on Seinfeld for sure.
Oh yeah,
he really does a good job. I think also what makes the Michael Barth character so good is I think he's even worse off than George, if that's even possible.
True.
Like he's more anxiety prone, panicky, depressed. So the execs are sitting in the bleachers with the audience, and they don't know where Russell is. We're just down to Rita, Jay, and Stu. Jay knows he hasn't been feeling well, and Stu says in confidence that he thinks it's a woman.
How pathetic. And that Rita is stone cold.
Yeah, absolutely. George is on the phone with the lab. He's on the same phone I think Russell was using earlier.
Yeah.
It's like a stage phone. And he's getting the results back from the biopsy. Prognosis?
Negative.
Not realizing, of course, that negative is good.
So that scene is supposed to be some sort of parallel from Larry David's film or script, Prognosis Negative. We also see another real-life Seinfeld crew member, the prop guy, Victor Wayne Harris. He's the one who's in the background, then he comes all the way to the table where George is, but he's the actual prop guy on Seinfeld and in Jerry. Mm-hmm. That guy actually passed away. You'll actually see at the end of a couple episodes that'll be dedicated to Victor Wayne Harris. You'll see a still of him.
Right. It's actually at the end of The Soulmate. And then right before we get started with Jerry, there's this nice creepy zoom into Joe Davola, of all people, sitting in the audience. And he's looking a lot cleaner than he did before, not nearly as disheveled. It's like the hair slicked back. Mm. He's got the nicer jacket on. He's ready to rock. But what's even creepier, more unsettling, is when George is snacking at the craft table and he notices Tom Pepper standing nearby, just staring at him.
I wish you guys could see that look.
Listen, I know we've had our problems in the past, but we got a show to do tonight. Time to pull together as a team. Life's too short. I say, let's let bygones be bygones. If you took the raisins, if you didn't take the raisins, they weren't even my raisins. I was just curious because it seems like a strange thing to do, to to walk into a room, audition, and walk out with a box of raisins. Anyway, whatever. If you ever want to tell me about it, the door to my office is always open. In the event that I get an office. You'll come in, we'll talk about the raisins, we'll have a nice laugh.
How would you like it if I just pulled your heart out of your chest right now and shoved it down your throat?
First of all, I am so upset with myself. I never noticed this. If you look at George eating at the craft service table, he double dips.
Does he?
Yeah, he didn't learn his lesson.
I just can't get over that line.
Oh, the heart out of your chest?
Yeah.
Down your throat? Tom Pepper has some demons in him.
I also love, it was earlier in the clip when, and it's all thanks to both the actors, but especially Jason he's got this like cocky swagger to him, you know, after he double dips and he walks over to Tom and he's on one topic. He's like, hey, let's let, bygones be bygones. You took the raisins, you didn't take the raisins, and you hear the audience just go, oh.
Yeah, he's really almost implying guilt,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So the show begins, sort of, with a stand-up host talking to the audience, kind of like a warm-up host. He's explaining what a pilot is, how it will air on Thursday. So they're going to film it and edit and air it in a week.
You love that. The pilot's actually a guy who flies the plane.
That's awful.
Smart ass. So Pat Hazel plays himself. He's the warm-up guy. He also played the man in the other bed in The Heart Attack. The one who George said, I had ice cream. They didn't give me ice cream when I had my tonsils out. Shut up!
Right.
That's Pat Hazel. He was also in the movie Glory Road, Waiting, and the TV show Friday Night Lights. He was a writer on Seinfeld during the first season.
Oh, nice. And the actual warm-up comic for the show.
Yes.
Okay.
And the guy who gives that snarky pilot flying the plane remark is Gavin Pallone, who's Larry David's agent.
And a very familiar name. That's the guy who owned the dog.
That's right. I
love that.
Science are coming together. If you look to Gavin Pallone's right, our left, there is a man sitting next to him. That is writer Darren Henry, who was a writer on Seinfeld. He wrote the Van Buren Boys, the Slicer, the Bookstore,
Good
the Chronic, right? And he's uncredited in a lot of episodes, so you probably just got to look for him. But he's the pilot, the man in the audience. The opposite, he's the man in the cafe. During the pledge drive, he's a PBS phone volunteer. During the secretary, he's a moviegoer.
Oh my God.
In the finale, he's a juror.
So is this another like David Blackwood situation, or
potentially? But this guy has no lines, unfortunately.
He got no lines. We get introduced to the cast. Hey, you want to meet our cast? And it's just Jerry for now. This moment here, so it's Jerry coming out, and even we know on Seinfeld the cast would come out, wouldn't they? Yeah. And I'll take a bow, wave, whatnot. There's some behind the scenes photos actually. I think of Jerry doing some stand up, fielding audience questions and whatnot. But in this scene, this is something I do, especially whenever I host trivia, where Jerry says, "Hey, how you doing?" And there's like mild applause. Oh, you sound like a great crowd.
Yeah.
And okay, so two things. Is Jerry saying that, like, is he being genuine, like just being himself, or is he being sarcastic?
I think he's being genuine for the sake of wanting to put a good impression out there.
Yeah, but he's not trying extra hard.
No.
So I'll say that at trivia a lot, where I'm like, "Hey, how's everyone doing?" Mild applause. Oh, you sound like a great crowd. And
do people get it? Do they laugh?
No one laughs, first of all. And it comes off like really.
Who are these boneheads coming to your trivia nights?
Some of them are listening right now. But yeah, I just always like that line. Sound like a great crowd. Anyways, Jerry introduces the show, and this is when Crazy Joe Davola leaps up and shouts, "Six Sepper, here it is!" and leaps out of the audience at Jerry.
Notice how when Joe Davola is making his way through the audience, they're not even fazed by this madman. I thought they would at least be like, "Huh," but they're just kind of standing there.
Right. The audio helps. They added some reactions.
Where are those screams coming from?
So yesterday in our part 1 discussion, I mentioned how I found this really interesting image online that included a scene that was not filmed, or at least never showed up in this version. And it's of Crazy Joe Davola strangling Jerry.
Really?
Yeah. I'll post it on Facebook and Twitter, all the social media sites, but it's unreal to see more to this scene. I thought they just had the jump, the freeze frame, and that was it, left up to your imagination. But I'm like, oh my God, is this part of the 10 minutes that Tom Sharonis mentioned in the commentary that they had to cut because they were over? Because I'd love to see that.
I know. I'd love to get my hands on those 10 minutes.
And see how they resolved the struggle, of like Joe actually strangling Jerry.
He's choking me!
It would be kind of interesting if Joe gets arrested, and then what a great thing you would see in the finale that like Crazy Joe Davola is in the prison.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kind of a leap, but...
And then Jerry becomes his bitch.
Carved a swastika into my ass.
Adabisi stuck me with an AIDS-infected needle.
Good luck with all that.
Can we explain where that's from so I don't come off as a jerk?
That's from the Seinfeld Oz parody on SNL after the finale. Yeah,
thank you.
It's sadly lacking Chris Maloney, but you've got Beecher, you've got what's the neo-Nazi guy's name? Schillinger.
Yeah.
Oh my God, such an incredible show. I know there's like all this great stuff happening on HBO now, but if anyone has time to watch Oz, I still think that's one of the greatest shows ever.
I feel like it set the ball rolling for the current programming they have.
Absolutely. Incredible show. And I wonder if there's a few Seinfeld connections on that show. None that I can think of.
Evan Seinfeld's in it.
Who's that? Oh, the porn star.
Oh, is he? I thought he was a tattoo artist.
No, if you ever type like Seinfeld, just Seinfeld and one other keyword, his picture always comes up. He's this tattooed guy who is a porn star, I guess, as well as being a regular actor. So it's really tough when you're trying to find some imagery for the show Seinfeld.
Search carefully.
So we get a little act break after that Joe Davola outburst. We're at Jerry's apartment following Thursday. Jerry and George are getting ready to watch the pilot with some some snacks and drinks.
Before we get to that, I want to go back though.
You were like still getting over those Evan Seinfeld photos.
Yeah, it's hard to shake. But when we first get to Jerry's, he says George is inquiring, Sic Semper Tyrannis? What's that, Latin? And Jerry explains that's what John Wilkes Booth yelled out when he shot Lincoln, death to tyrants. George says to Jerry, I could see that. And Jerry's walking towards the fridge. He shoots George a look back. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of a stink eye.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Evil eye. I like how Joe Davola says Tyrannus and George says Tyrannus.
Yeah.
So I always wonder, like, what's the proper pronunciation? Only Tyrannus I know hired Jango Fett on one of the moons of Bogdan.
Oh, nodding off.
Okay. So Elaine arrives and...
See? Now this is exciting! This is exciting! Huh? Did I miss anything already?
This is one of our intro clips. I think we pull a lot from the tape and this episode. But anyways, they bring up Russell briefly. No one has heard from him, knows where he is. MIA. Then Kramer joins the party, singing an interesting song here. I could only ever make out that lyric, Pistol Packin' Mama, which I guess is the title of the song.
It is. Song written by Al Dexter, performed by Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters.
But he's happy. He's dancing because he went for the big E, of course.
Wet and Wild.
Before the show gets started, they're all sitting on the couch. Such a great shot, of the four of them. Mm-hmm. Elaine digs in the couch and finds a wallet, which is kind of odd.
One of the, I would say, longest payoffs in the series, or at least longest running, going all the way back to episode 5 of season 4. Morty visited New York to see a back specialist. Is that Dr. Kimbrough?
Kimbroug.
And oh no, that's that guy.
the exec,
yeah.
The new NBC president.
Ooh. So Morty comes to visit this back specialist. He goes to the doctor's office. He thinks they stole his wallet.
Right.
My wallet's gone. And it actually ended up being in Jerry's sofa the whole time.
I wonder when Larry wrote that episode, I think he wrote the wallet. Did he plan on having that payoff in the finale? Was he like, oh, we'll answer this at the end? or was this just one of those weird, like, just dangling threads that he wanted to tie up?
I don't know. Either way, it's a home run.
Yeah,
that'd be a good question to ask him. Is how he would all these references that he really enjoyed putting into the shows. What was his kind of strategy for doing that, for implementing that?
Right. The way it's played too, like there's so many ways you could say, "Oh, I found my dad's wallet in the couch," but the fact that it's shoehorned in at the last possible minute as we're finally ready to watch this dumb sitcom, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
So we get the intro, and one of the worst songs ever written. The entire Jerry sitcom, according to Tom Sharonis, was shot on videotape. That's what gives it kind of that cheesy, sort of artificial look. And we're going to see an intro here, and it's pretty much like conceptually similar to the show Seinfeld. You know, it's Jerry doing stand-up, but you don't hear any of the material. It's just all that cheesy music. And we have the supporting cast in the audience.
Michael Barth as George, Sandy Robbins as Elaine, and then Tom Pepper as Kramer. And again, in just you wonder, was this the writer saying do a little Kramer thing, or was it Larry Hankin, or was it Michael telling Larry Hankin? You don't know, but Larry Hankin eats some mix on the table, some nuts or
cheese
pretzels.
doodle.
Thank you. And he coughs because he's a big klutz.
You're right. And then we get that awful shot of all four of them like toasting. The font is terrible. It's I don't even know. I'm not up on my fonts, but it's hideous.
Did George, Elaine, and Kramer ever go to one of Jerry's shows? All three of them together?
That's a good question.
Because I know Elaine visited Jerry in the tape. Kramer brought Toby.
Well, to answer your question, all three of them have never been at the club at the same time. But we have a lot of scenes with George at the bar. You know, so we know George is at least there for the show. I don't think we ever see Elaine at the show. We just hear about it in the tape.
Yeah.
But you mentioned Kramer with Toby.
It would have been kind of fun to like have one episode where they went and saw Jerry's act and he bombed or something like that, and then they have to kind of discuss it at Monk's afterward.
Right.
I don't know. That would have been fun to see.
There was, I'm not letting it go. There was also the butter shave. What's the deal with cancer?
Oh, yeah.
That one that Kramer was there for. And then could you count the finale in the prison when Kramer and George are there?
There we go.
Kind of counts. You know what just blew my mind here? Because it always bummed me out that Elaine isn't in the post-credits sequence of the finale. However, that's going right back to the beginning because the first episode didn't have Elaine.
Brilliant. That's
it works.
Good call. Good call, Matt.
So anyways, we get the first scene, NBC pilot, Seinfeld Project, Act 1.
Scene A.
Scene A.
Hey. Hey, George. New sneakers?
Yeah,
What do you need new sneakers for?
I like sneakers.
How do you make a decision which ones to wear? I'd go crazy if I decide which sneakers to wear every day.
Ah, you're crazy anyway.
How do you explain this? It's so dumb, but it's brilliant. Like at the same time. It's that parody of like a Seinfeld conversation, but the fact that this is on a sitcom, making fun of other sitcoms, like I can't put it into words. This, as dumb as the humor is, it's genius. You used the Inception analogy in our part 1 episode, which kind of feels like that at this point. When you try to understand, like, not the layers just of a sitcom within a sitcom, but like really what's going on here. It's mind-boggling. And we actually get this cool montage, which we have alluded to all season, of other Seinfeld characters watching this pilot, from their homes. So you want to run through the list here?
Yeah. Leading off, we have Susan and Allison from The Smelly Car, Heidi Swedberg and Carrie Coleman. And there's actually a line of dialogue here that kind of goes unnoticed and is really telling.
Dude, this is huge.
So we hear TV Elaine say, "Why did you pull the top of this muffin off?" George says, "So what?" And then Elaine responds, "I can't eat it now." So this is the origin of the muffin top. Somebody, is it Larry? Is he a muffin top offer puller guy?
Well, this is 4 seasons before that episode, which is nuts. This was on someone's mind for those 4 years until they could write an entire episode about it, or at least pitch it. And what does that say about the show Seinfeld if a joke originated in a crappy in-universe sitcom? You know what I mean?
You use whatever works, my
Right.
friend. Spike Ferriston wrote The Muffin Tops.
Huh. So that might be a good question for him. Like, did he come up with that idea, or did someone pitch him based on, writing it in this episode? Anywho, who else we got watching the sitcom?
Next we have Sid, the old man, and his housekeeper. So Bill Irwin and Linnell Chapman return.
Every time we see, it's usually a couple, right? They always say something that refers back to their episode.
Exactly.
So, well, I guess Susan and Allison's was just looking at each other and saying George.
Because they both can reminisce over having dated George, and that's typical George behavior. Sid and the housekeeper, Sid says, "Hey, that's the idiot who took all my records." and the housekeeper starts laughing uncontrollably at that. Who may or may not speak English.
Right.
Next, we cut to Marla, who doesn't seem to be a virgin anymore. She's under the sheets.
She's still in bed.
John, come back to bed. And John F. Kennedy Jr. is watching TV.
This show looks interesting. Isn't he that Seinfeld fella you went out with?
Voiced by none other than Larry David.
Possibly David Richardson's body, too, right?
Perhaps.
Okay.
The world may never know. But he's horrible, nevertheless. Next, we move to the Drake and Drakette, who it looks like they've stayed together. Elizabeth Dennehy and Rick Overton. And again, subtlety to these jokes, attention to detail. They're watching, what are they watching the pilot on?
It's the little handheld TV, right?
Yep. They don't have that big TV anymore.
I never got that joke until we finally got to the handicap spot.
Fabulous. But the Drake and the Drakette are back together.
Mm-hmm. And they both hate the sign.
That's right.
Or I'm sorry, just Allison hates the sign.
Wow.
Is it Allison?
Yeah, good call.
Isn't Allison also Susan's girlfriend?
Yeah.
It's weird.
That is weird. Next, we have Ping and Cheryl from the Visa. So Ping Wu and Maggie Han return. Ping is kind of poking fun at Cheryl for, I can't believe you liked him. I thought he was dark and disturbed. Real perceptive.
And one of the few times we get subtitles on the show.
Yeah.
Here and with the NBC when they try to pitch the other NBC, the Japanese NBC.
Oh, Nakahama Broadcast Corporation. Next up, we have the Bubble Boy and his parents. We got Brian Doyle Murray, John Heyman, who voices the Bubble Boy, and then Carol Mansell. And Donald, who used to be a diehard Seinfeld fan, is now wrestling with his parents for the remote because he claims Seinfeld is a sellout. Things haven't changed at the Bubble Boy's house.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear that little bit from Tom Mazzari, that he has the Bubble Boy hands?
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
That is really cool.
God.
I remember in the later seasons, like David Mandel talked about, he took some stuff from the set as well when things started disappearing as the show was wrapping up because people wanted to have a piece of history. So we'll keep an eye out for who has what.
I read online recently that I'm sure Jerry has a lot of things from the show, not to mention like hundreds of millions of dollars, but he has the apartment door, 5A, which is kind of cool.
That's great.
What would be your Seinfeld prop if you could take anything? Set, physical, whatever you want.
I mean, lately, I kind of want that Seinfeld statue that appears later in the seasons.
Oh, the Superman statue?
Yeah. What would you do?
It's a tough call. Like anything throughout any episode.
That Monk's Diner setup we saw at the Hulu event was kind of cool. If you could have that.
You know, I've always liked the Monk's set, even more than Jerry's apartment. So maybe, like a booth. It's pretty big, but if I could get that in my place, that'd be great. And maybe I could like hire someone that looks like Ruthie Cohen just to stand there. So we cut back to the apartment here, and in between the commercial break of the sitcom, Elaine's like, "Oh, I really like this guy playing the butler."
You know, he's John Ritter's cousin.
Oh, I wonder why they said that. 'Cause
yeah.
Is he in real life?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. It's such a funny, maybe like in, Hollywood, everyone is, not everyone, but it's a big deal if you're related to someone famous.
Yeah, exactly.
And here we get just a huge chunk of the Jerry pilot here. We're going to play a clip, and you get to meet Charles, the butler.
Hello, Charles.
Hello. So, where do you want me to start today?
Why don't you start in the bedroom?
Start in your bedroom.
Hey, Hey, the butler's here.
He is? Listen, when he's finished, send him over to my house.
I'm not sending him to your house.
Why not?
Because the judge decreed he become my butler, not my friend's butler.
Jerry, he is your butler. You can give him any order you want. That's what butlers do.
But I don't want to.
Jerry, my house is a pigsty. Come on.
Yeah. Come on up. I need more pledge. More pledge? I just bought 2 cans last week and I don't have any wood in the house. Well, it goes fast.
Hello?
Hello. What's all this about?
We had a date last week.
You had a date? You went out with my butler? Who said you could go out with my butler?
Well, why do I need your permission?
Because he's my butler.
Brian Bradley plays Jerry's butler. He was in a Twilight Zone episode from 1985, Hot Shot. He was in a film To Live and Die in L.A., Weekend Warriors. Seinfeld was actually his second to last acting credit.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, he looks familiar.
He reminds me of Ryan Stiles, like a
Yes.
drop-dead ringer for Ryan Stiles.
Absolutely.
Ooh, and the smile Jerry has on his face after, Charles goes, "Where should I start today?"
Start in the bedroom.
Jerry is so pleased with himself that he's got a butler now.
Oh, yeah, he loves it. That is a killer line. What's another one? Oh, when Larry Hankin comes in, Tom Pepper, he's like, Jerry, my house is a pigsty. Come on.
Is the whole request of Tom Pepper to have Charles clean his apartment, is that from the statue?
When the Ray, was it Ray or Raymond?
Ray.
When he was cleaning Jerry's apartment. I don't remember if Kramer asks him in that, but it's a similar kind of setup, at least.
Yeah.
Kramer might have said something. The pledge line is great, where he's like, "More pledge. I just bought 2 cans last week. I don't have any wood in the house." It's just so cheesy. It's brilliant. And then, of course, the killer line with Elaine. You went out with my butler. Who said you could go out with my butler?
What do I need your permission for?
Because he's my butler.
How could anyone not like him? Barney Martin and Liz Sheridan return as Morty and Helen Seinfeld, watching from their condo.
Yes, on the pull-out sofa, probably.
Mm-hmm. Then we cut to Calvin Klein and Tia, who are hanging out. They're from The Pick. Nicholas Horman and Jennifer Campbell. I like his style, his sort of casual elegance.
He picks his nose.
Nevertheless, popping up, which is something about the flow.
It seems like a Larry David line that he just he enjoyed saying at this time, right?
Yeah. Next, we go to Sal Bass and Sidra from The Implant. We have Terry Hatcher and Tony Amendola. And Sal's inquiring, he's a member of our health club, isn't he? Yeah. That Kim Novak had some big breasts.
That
Poor
pause.
Sidra, yeah. She can't go anywhere without having, the conversation of breasts and actresses pop up.
Large-breasted women.
And then just to put a little cherry on top, let's throw Newman in there. And would Newman be the one to watch Jerry's pilot?
No,
absolutely not. Not only is he watching the Yankee game, but he's sleeping.
Yes.
So definitely not on his to-do list.
Bag of chips, I think, there somewhere. And he's not a cherry on top. He's a Twinkie on top. Mm-hmm. And the same joke is kind of played up again. So many parallels with the finale here. When they're waiting for the verdict, you see that montage of all of the different characters in Latham, Massachusetts. And I think Newman's shot, he's in a car, like covered in chips.
You're right.
Asleep.
And I actually had that thought with all these cutaway shots in the season 4 finale as well as the series finale. And for some reason, the season 4 finale works better. Mm-hmm. But I still love that we got to see all these characters come back.
Yes.
So season 4, it's only the characters that were memorable from season 4. In the finale, it's throughout the entire series, we see all these characters that we came to love. So Larry's strategy, I think, was appropriate, but just because the expectations were so high, I know we're getting into finale talk right now.
Yeah.
We're a little bit early, but I think he was on the right track with what he was trying to do with the finale.
Absolutely. And it's not an homage, but it's really the same formula structurally as this episode in a sense. So it's okay in my book, in that regard. It worked once. Why can't it work again?
Yeah.
So then we get some Jerry stand-up taking us out.
You ever notice a lot of butlers are named Jeeves? I think when you name a baby Jeeves, you've pretty much mapped out his future, wouldn't you say? Not much chance he's going to be a hitman, I think, after that. Terribly sorry, sir, but I'm going to have to whack you.
It's so weird because the stand-up we discuss at the start and end of each episode is true Jerry Seinfeld stand-up, and it's great. But it's like in the TV show, it's awful. It's again like amateur hour.
I'm surprised. I would think, even though Jerry's playing a, fictitious version of himself, why he wouldn't want the stand-up to at least be really good, because he is a comedian in Seinfeld and in real life.
Right. And is the stand-up we see at the start and end of each episode, is that TV Jerry doing stand-up, or is that real-life Jerry doing stand-up? And if it's TV Jerry doing stand-up, why isn't sitcom Jerry's stand-up the same as regular Seinfeld Jerry's stand-up?
Is anyone else's head about to explode?
Great moment, though, as the show ends and the four congratulate each other. This is definitely montage clip show material right there. Elaine is really positive, though. She thinks it'll get picked up. Jerry and George are going to be rich, but the phone rings, and it's Rita Kiersten who has to break some pretty bad news. Turns out Russell Dalrymple is no longer with the network. In fact, he's disappeared, and she's been made the new president of NBC. And since, Rita Russell not seeing eye to eye on many projects, she's passing on Jerry. But the show ended just 2 minutes ago.
Well, I just got the job. Bye-bye, Jerry.
So cold.
I know. I do not like her.
Yeah, and is this just about the sitcom she never liked? I feel like she just has it in for Jerry.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
She just wants nothing to do with him.
And she sure as hell doesn't like George.
After the phone call here, Jerry and George turn towards Elaine and just start moving in on her. She's looking pretty guilty. I never really got this, like what was going on, the vibe here, that this is Elaine's fault.
Well, she was so charming and beautiful that she caused Russell to go insane. It was his obsession with her that ultimately put the kibosh on the TV show.
Right, but ultimately, and they understand, it's not her fault that he went gaga for her.
They're just venting right now.
Right. But, in the end, they just want to know where Russell is, and we cut out to
oh man,
the North Atlantic somewhere, and there's a huge whaling ship, and it's being, tracked, followed by these two little Greenpeace. Are they speedboats or rafts? I don't know.
They look like rafts, but they got to be going pretty fast to keep up with a ocean liner.
Yeah, they got little motors on the back, a little motor on its ass. And in one of them, it's Russell with two other Greenpeace activists, and they're fighting. The waters are rough, they're getting sprayed, and it's a pretty intense situation. So Russell is explaining, just shouting, hey, I used to work for NBC, and it's so sad, but when I go back, this time she'll respect me.
Oh man, yeah, one of the most powerful men in the entertainment business, and he feels so small.
Yeah, but
and insignificant right now.
Right, and it's just all about her love. That's all he wants.
Yeah.
And one of the guys shouts,
"You better get down! They might start firing soon." Larry David.
I was about to say that sounded just like Larry David.
Oh, thank you.
But not only Larry David, you got Larry Charles in the back.
The Larrys.
Yeah, the other activist, and it's kind of hard to recognize Larry David, at least, without the glasses.
Yes, and his head's covered up.
Yes.
So you can't see that trademark bald head. You do see the trademark beard on Larry Charles.
Yes. So we cut over to Monk's, and the gang arrives. The place is just packed with men, pretty much.
Never seen it so packed before.
Yeah. There's even a waiting line.
Yeah, we see Peter Melman, Bill Masters, and John Heyman.
Right, so Peter Melman, he's had a few cameos, like in the Subway. He'll be in The Barber, too. He's written a lot of episodes. We interviewed him. Bill Masters, he was in the airport. He was the shuttle car driver.
Sorry.
And John Heyman, you mentioned earlier, as the Bubble Boy. Elaine spots two of the guys she spoke with at the Equal Employment Office in one of the booths. They're, of course, just checking things out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, checking. And another man walks by and he says, "See you back at the office, guys." That's also Seinfeld writer Steve Scroven.
There you go.
And then Mr. Vazaki comes over. "Fred, Paul, lunch, dinner? Boy, you guys are too. Move in. How about a piece of pie on me? Sophia!
Take care of these two fellows." We quote him a lot, oddly, for such a
Fun. Yeah.
kind of forgettable character, yeah, but fun to quote. So Elaine threatens the owner again, Mr. What is it again? Mamama?
Vazaki.
Telling him, you're not going to get away with this, all the waitresses being all alike.
"Of course they're alike. They're my daughters."
Okay.
"You must be very proud, Mr. Vazaki. And may I say, sir, you have lovely, lovely girls. Absolutely lovely girls. It's nice to see such fine, upstanding women in gainful employment, Mr. Vazaki."
Oh, God. I seem to recall back in college really hating that line, too, that delivery. I assume George is just buttering him up, right? Because he wants to
go on a date.
I don't know if he just wants to date
with Peggy.
Peggy, take care of these two fellows. Apparently, I am really bad on my golden age TV stars, but George is doing an impression of Phil Silvers, I guess.
I don't know who. What's Phil Silvers' big claim?
He was on Sergeant Bilko.
That was before our time.
Yes. We'll try to find a clip to add to our show notes. You can check that out. See if Jason sounds anything like Phil Silvers. So Peggy drops off the menus, and here we go. It's just there's something so whole, so right about having the four, together in that booth. It's like a reset. Mm-hmm. George realizes tomorrow he has to start looking for a job now that the pilot's not happening, and Kramer suggests Greenpeace, go attack the whalers out on the open ocean.
You crazy? You take your life in your hands with those nuts.
And appropriately, we cut back to the open sea. There's two Greenpeace activists in the raft. Russell apparently is struggling in the water, hanging onto a rope. This guy here is doing his best to tell him not to let go.
Keep fighting, matey! Get your head up on the water! I've got you, matey! I got you! Matey! I'll remember her name! Elaine Bennett! I'll write to her! I'll tell her all about you and what you did out here! Goodbye, matey! Goodbye!
This ending always gives me chills. It's because it's so dark and kind of sad. But
the death of Russell and the TV show.
Mm-hmm, as that lone little script page, the title page, floats out to sea.
Yeah, I could see that.
Mm-hmm. What kind of accent is Larry David doing there?
Good question.
A little bit of trivia here, just in the logistics. Not only were they filming the raft on a blue screen, but to get that shot of the script floating away in the water, a couple of crew members here. We have Morgan Sackett, Tim Kaiser, and Darren Henry, two of those guys you already mentioned. They had to go out to Santa Monica. They rented a boat. They had to kind of like stir up the water because it was so calm, but kind of like create some waves and then get that shot of the script floating out. So visually, it's very, very stunning.
It all works.
Mm-hmm. Stand up.
Stand up.
Now, I know women often complain about the number of things you have to do to get male attention. The high heels, the pantyhose, the makeup. But let me tell you, it's even worse if you're a man. Because if you're a man, you don't know what to do. That's why we're building bridges, climbing mountains, exploring uncharted territories. You think we want to do these things? Nobody wants to build a bridge. It's really, really hard. Designing rockets, flying off into space. I guarantee you, every astronaut, when he comes back from space, goes up to a girl and goes, "So, did you see me up there?"
I'm kind of lukewarm about this one. It's good, but it doesn't. You don't go out with a bang.
Yeah, and it's an interesting topic to have, I think, for this kind of episode.
Yeah, what is it? Where's the connection?
Russell, I would say, he's doing that to impress Elaine.
Okay.
Joining Greenpeace, but
we just talked about it. Ouch.
But yeah, I would think the sitcom would have, or the stand-up would have more to do with the sitcom or the TV world, or I don't know, something of about the larger picture here.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it's just I feel like it kind of limps out. Mm-hmm. It was such a great ending. They could have even done without the stand-up and have it end on that lone script page.
Just floating out. That would have been really interesting. I don't know. Have we gotten... We've had a few closing credits with just stills of Jerry doing stand-up, but I don't know if we've ever had like a... like a real time, just one long shot. Like I think we have one of George eating at Reggie's.
Yes.
In one episode.
That's good.
Yeah. But anyways, here we are at the end of the finale. You want to move on to ratings?
I can't believe we made it.
So, what do you think?
I'm not sure if there's anything left to be said for this episode. We kind of got into everything. I love this episode. I know you're a big fan. Maybe we could just talk about things we didn't like. That might be easier.
Let's be negative. People love that. The show Jerry is supposed to be cheesy, and that it lends itself to that. That's enjoyable. I would have liked to stand up to be solid in the show. That's like a tiny little gripe. I'm struggling to find things I didn't like.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking, usually my go-tos are, do I like all 4 storylines? Jerry and George are obviously pretty much tied together for the most part. Elaine kind of felt, not forgotten, but she didn't feel like she was tied into... Well, there's the whole Russell thing that is tied in, but...
and then her stance against the monks as well. Yeah. Those are her 2 storylines.
It is interesting how it's like Elaine is dealing with equal employment, and Kramer is dealing with an enema. Yeah, totally unrelated to what's really going on here. So you have to applaud them for coming up with 2 totally unrelated topics.
And theirs had to kind of fall by the wayside because the pilot was the meat and potatoes of this episode.
Right. So I guess it is sort of dumb to find something to complain about.
I do just want to add, the one thing I liked most about this episode was all the callbacks and all these characters that really we grew to love throughout the season, even the old man. It was so nice to see them pop back in and like reference their particular episode. So that's what just really, I think, brought this episode over the top for me.
Yeah, and also we should mention the guest stars, Jeremy Piven, Larry Hankin. Apologies, I forget the actress that plays Sandy Robbins.
Oh, Elena Wald.
They're just wonderful, and it's incredible when they only have one episode in the entire run, and you'll never forget them. So, that's definitely a highlight for this episode as well. And let's also applaud Larry David for writing, or I assume conceiving of the season-wide arc. I mean, that's incredible. I feel like a lot of shows have still tried to do this. But,
it was groundbreaking back then. So he kind of set this trend for future shows. I'm only sorry they didn't kind of stick with that for Seinfeld, because it was nice to have this overarching storyline.
Yeah, the only one we'll get in addition to this is the engagement arc in season 7. But that's really just a matter of, hey, let's wait until this final, like the wedding date. Whereas this one, there's development, there's, ups and downs. You have your highs and you have your lows. But yeah, it's just, this will always be, I think, my favorite season and my favorite finale. And it's mainly thanks to that Larry David attention to detail and that long-term investment of the pilot arc. But what rating are you going to give this one?
I'm going to do a gold baby gold, and I'm going to reserve a 10 on this one. I think I'm going to give it 9 pistol packing mamas out of 10.
Nice.
Yeehaw.
I will also give this a gold baby gold, and I'll be giving it 10 stolen box of raisins out of 10.
So I guess that's going to do it for us here on this season 4 of Seinfeld. Is that right? We're done.
Yes. That was the finale. What are we going to do next?
I don't know. We got nothing.
Yeah, so what I think we're going to do next week is what we did at the end of season 3. We did like a recap, some of our favorite moments from the first 3 seasons. Next week's episode will be focusing just on season 4. We haven't figured out the topics yet, but we'll do, favorite maybe characters, quotes, arcs, some of our least favorite characters, favorite episodes, least favorite episodes. We'll figure it out, in our time off here. But wanted to throw it to all of our listeners. Email us at seincast@gmail.com. Message us on Facebook or Twitter. We're going to ask for your favorite and least favorite character from season 4, your favorite and least favorite episode, your favorite scene, and your favorite quote. We can, maybe bring some of them up during our discussion, and I would like to definitely take like a polling of sorts. What characters our listeners hated,
Yeah.
what episodes they really loved, whatnot.
I know who I'm going to put down.
Vinny, we don't really have a proper send-off this week, so
see ya.
Seincast is not endorsed by Castle Rock Entertainment, Sony Pictures, or NBC. It is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. The official Seinfeld site can be found at sonypictures.com/TV/Seinfeld. Seinfeld, the Seinfeld logo, and all names, pictures, and audio of Seinfeld characters are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and copyright holders.